tournament. Luvnest, of course, here, starting with armoured assault tactics. Now, this is a really good idea from him. He is a double world champion, winning one of the biggest tournaments ever, GCS 1, and also World Championships 2019 to win $10,000. Well, the good thing about this commander is it gives him that radio intercept, because he's up against the unknown. Luvnest comes in rusty as one of those rusty Panzer IVs you find in a swamp on the steppe. You know, and it's dredged up, and it's on YouTube, and it's full of rust, it's full of old water. But somehow you can still get it working, and if you can still get it working, it's a killing machine. Well, one of the oil, one of the lubrications it needs, Luvnest in this case, is he needs to not be surprised by these young whippersnappers. Makros, as Eastern Wehrmacht, he has the underdog potential. He has the ability to make this very interesting. Thank you, Jamesy Jamzo. It definitely isn't an audio test. But what Makros has is the ability to surprise Luvnest. And what the radio intercept gives Luvnest is that just that kind of, that blanket, that cushion, that ability to not be sucker punched by his underdog assailant. Pioneers push in with the MP40s. 98Ks. They do have an angle here on the conscripts, so the conscripts tuck in behind the building, then retreat away. MG, meanwhile, hits them in the flank. We do have Capping Combat Engineers in the north. New Grenadier arrives and joins the fighting. We'll be casting alone today, mostly because Ed 80 couldn't be with us. He's going to cast with us tomorrow now. But also, it's kind of easier to be agile when it's just yourself. You can, when you pack light and go alone, you can move fast. I'm sure that's a reference to some film somewhere. And it's the first day, probably got to double up helping with the organisational affairs and that kind of thing, so it's good to be nimble. Conscripts are sandwiched between grenadiers here. This is a microcosm for the Kessel, isn't it? They're surrounding them. Will they surrender or will they die where they stand? Well, they've been routed here. Stalin would not be pleased. More conscripts join the fighting. This is the 4th built squad from Luvnest. G42. And do they get out of here? I think that's a sight blocker. They should be fine. No, it's not. My bad. They're not fine at all. They do get suppressed indeed, but they're going to be able to crawl away from suppression, get behind the heavy cover. Meanwhile, as I say, Makros has been really aggressive. This combat engineer has done a lot of fighting. In fact, hurts the Grenadier on his retreat path there. MG and Pioneers. Grenadiers just offering a hard front. Needs to get these 2 points for it to be a cut-off to this northern fuel. Gets the first one now. Good aggression shown. Oh no, this is the full cut-off. My bad. If we go to the tactical map, you can see how it swings round in a frying pan-like motion. So this is going to be Luvnest fully cut off now. And meanwhile, Makros is going to have high fuel incoming. On this beautiful map. It is the autumn start to this tournament. The first weekend will be autumn maps, which, of course, includes Canal Park. And then tomorrow, well, next weekend rather, we will be going to winter versions. And big announcement, Coltech will be in... No, it won't be. It won't be enabled. That was a joke. I can't even finish the sentence. Well, it is a high fuel GP Pirate. It's higher than the... Oh, yeah, I see your point. There's only standard territory points and then fuel points. Oh, God, yeah. True. That's one of the worst parts of Code 2. I actually think Code 2 these days is superior to Code 1, but the resource system certainly isn't. So glad they're bringing in the proper resource system back for Code 3. Flanks the MG42 here. Gren's come to help out. We're going to force him off possibly here. No, he's going to do the veteran maneuver. No, the conscripts were too strong in the end, forcing them off. And this is Luvnest. He's had a long time without his fuel here. Evades a rifle nade the hard way. And this is a long time without fuel. He's also not capping his opponent's fuel, instead going for the standard territory point here. Not sure how much Luvnest has played on Canal Park, but it means that the players vetoed the 2 other maps available. The 2 other maps available were Bryansk Autumn and Bokaj Rework Autumn. I wonder how many games are being played on either of those 2. A lot of the map makers have put a lot of work in, but given that it is an Allies versus Axis tournament, and it's pretty much sudden death, med packs being used there, sudden death. As the tournament organizer, I really couldn't tell the players to play on a map. I wanted to give them a little bit of choice, and because otherwise, you know how whiny they'd get. So we've given them a limited choice, 3 maps to choose from. Right then, so Luvnest has connected as Northern Fuel. He's pushed in a little bit. We have support weapon compania coming up in base. He's 16 fuel off tier 3, the Tankovi Battalion Command. And yeah, we do have the 222 now hitting. That's a reasonable time for a 222. Rifle nade. Oh, it was just the noise of a rifle nade. It wasn't actually a rifle nade. He cancelled it. This conscript's forced away. Of course, there's healing up in base at this point for Luvnest. MG42's flanked yet again. Bad rifle nade there from Makros. Easy dodge. Scout cars emerging from the eastern entrance. I think there's only one entrance, actually. MG42 under continued and sustained pressure. Loses its pip of veterancy there. But there's a grenadier close at hand to pick it up. Let's go over to TACMAP land. Just how we started the cast when I had all the overlays messed up. And we will indeed see that Makros is again taking Luvnest's fuel. Makros has had continuous fuel control all game, I believe. I think for one moment it was neutralised, but... Okay, so I retract my statement, but he's had way more fuel than Luvnest has had. That's the main point. And I think that should be shown on the timings here, with Luvnest being... Okay, it's not quite Co 3 or Co 1, is it? He's only 12 fuel away! That's the standard territory point system, everybody. It sucks. You can really get your opponent's cutoff, and you're not even that kind of rewarded for it. In Co 1 and Co 3, you're really rewarded for it. This would have really hurt Luvnest, and his T70 would be heavily delayed. In the case of Co 2, it's delayed by about a minute. No quad meta. Han Solo says Isildur is gone but not forgotten. Well, he's not in this tournament, ladies and gentlemen, but the M5 or M17 quad mount will be, because he reckons that's his biggest contribution to meta. He was arguing with me saying that, well, not arguing with me, he was trying to tell me that he thinks he's really contributed to meta with the quad mount being so prevalent now. I have to agree. And I don't think Luvnest will go it, though. I don't think Luvnest is his own man. Doesn't really pay attention to what other players tend to do, because he himself has contributed so much to the meta of the game, especially as Soviets. Conscripts cap the fuel. They're going to have to catch the cut-off. Wonder where Makros is on his capping. Sorry, fuel and teching is what I meant to say. 105 he needs. Good shot by the Zis there. 222's trying to get out of there. Where is this pesky Zis gun? It was over here. That was a long shot. 222 backs up. He's got 4 kills now. And just as the cutoff is claimed, the fuel will be decapped. And Luvnest, again, is really, as far as Co 2's territory system allows, is being punished here. It's actually manpower he's suffering for if he wants that T70. I think it's, is it 260? Yeah, it's 260. So it's going to be happening right about now. Right about now. Right about. There it is. Rifle nade in. This time does a bit of health damage. Excuse AE whilst you drink some coffee. Yeah, the map is very fresh. Unfortunately, Relic have confirmed there will be no more map patches for Co 2, which is a real big shame. I really hope they change their mind on that one, because the Master League and the map makers affiliated with it have done a hell of a lot of work in making some of the best Co 2 maps ever for 1 versus 1. And it would be a big shame if Automatch never saw these maps. Cut-offs now back in Luvnest's hands. As I say, the fuel is not, and it's a really interesting V-section of sandbags, which is going to mean these grenadiers can hold out for longer. However, they have just lost the initiative, because that's directional cover. It's not going to help them. T70 emerges, going straight north to help the fuel situation. wondering when Battle Phase 2 will start to be teched. 222 gets Veteran C1 and its 6th kill. Could actually do more work on retreat. No, he's going to be okay for now. Here comes that T70 with... he's evading the Faust and claims a kill with a machine gun. And a mine detonates. That could be a dead grenadier. Will Luvnest pursue here? One more kill, but there's a Pack 40. He's no doubt spotted it with the conscripts here. Don't forget how much Luvnest uses tac map. You will have spotted it even if his camera wasn't on it. Let's see how Makros plays. Don't really know much about this guy, so it seems like he's oh, hang on. Right, this is his perspective. So he's twitchy. He's a WASD mover, by the looks of things. Uses mini-map, not tac map. Or he's not perfected his tac map usage, because of course you don't really have to go to base if you use tac map fully. It's just, yeah, okay, so he doesn't seem to use tac map at all, really. WASD and mouse is how he plays, it seems. Just nice to get an interesting flavour for how he interacts with the game. Back to base again. So every time you're looking at base, it can be seen as inefficient, of course, because your eyes aren't on the battlefield. And let's go over to Luvnest. Very familiar movements, because it doesn't feel like he's looking at anything, but he's actually using tac map. So he could be responding to something in the north. Indeed, he was getting his Zis gun out of there without even looking at it. And that's Luvnest for you. T70's kill count's only 1 at this stage, which is really poor, to be honest. Pack 40's probably going to get more veterancy than the T70 is at this rate. 222 pushes in. Pack 40's lining up a shot here, however misses horrendously. We do have combat engineers pushing in, one with a minesweeper, one with a flamethrower, a good combo. MG42 sets up, Pack backs away, 222 pushes into position. And the combat engineers will be pushed out of there in no time. Meanwhile, we have Jaeger Command Squad entering the field with those G43s ready to fire. Good pressure on the Pack there, getting decrews at long range with the combat engineers. You do not want to allow the Wehrmacht Pack to gain veterancy. It's one of the best veteran units in the game. So always good to see that neutralized. One thing that KO2 does very well is the veterancy for support weapons and infantry, how much it plays a vital part in the game. 2-2 is under pressure. We got the Zis changing to a barrage here on these support weapons, forcing them out of the picture. Luvnest wrestling Makros out of position the hard way. He's got old man strength. His tactical understanding of the game is nigh on flawless. There's very few people that do it better than Luvnest in terms of understanding the dynamics of an engagement and winning. He's like a bear. It may not be pretty at times, but he'll swipe your face off. Alright, this could be a dead Gren. No, could be a Faust and a dead T70. Damaged engine. Pack can't fire through a house. There's no Pack 43. Another Zis barrage. A lot of damage done. Tell you what, the Zis barrage's veterancy's getting up there as well. Not a bad unit. Okay, fuel taken finally in the south for Luvnest, taking advantage of these Wehrmacht sandbags to his advantage. Probably have to conserve my casting powers a little bit for the later rounds today. I've realised I put a lot of energy into this one thus far, but to be honest, a bloody good game. It deserves it. I'm feeling like Rusty Luvnest, former world champion, and auto match bully Makros is a good combo, because one's not rusty but has never had the high level super duper elite tournament Ubermensch experience, and Luvnest hasn't really played the game very much, so in the past couple of years. Interesting mortar from Luvnest. Notice that the elite tournament crop started to put the mortar back into their build orders. Bit of a smoke generator at times, but also it's a good relief for the micro, for the weary. Kind of does work without you needing it to. Got a bit of honey in my coffee. It's quite tasty. Jaeger's lying in wait with a flare over their heads there. If that was a mortar. No. It was a tripwire flare. It's a 5-man squad originally. Of course, it's Luvnest. He originated and pioneered the overuse, or the heavy use of tripwire flares. There's another one here, dead Grenadier. So such an inexpensive utility. 15 munitions for a 30 manpower kill. So powerful. LMG Grenadiers are pretty powerful as well, though. And they're getting some damage off at long range. That's what you want to see. T-70 gets a strafe away. We have a push in the south, pushing the Jaegers back to base. And in the north, there's an engagement. The Vet 2 now, scout car, is overseeing the battlefield. I see everything. So play nice. Name that film, ladies and gents. Name that film. Again, the fuel cutoff being taken by Makros in the north. On the minimap, you can see it happen. We've got Grenadiers being burned to a crisp here, but the pinned conscripts can't really help out much anymore. There's a 18-8 confirming the package is adorning the conscripts from this point on. Again, he takes the cutoff, he takes the fuel. Not too good for Luvnest. It's a very imposing block between the two things. For example, this is the equivalent of this house here. But this house is such a true sight blocker, it almost feels like it's easier to toggle of getting the cutoff, get the fuel. And that's what Makros has done. He's punished Luvnest with it all game long. And we're going to have a really strong game here. Pause for breath. And don't forget, everybody, that there will be an award today. Rifle Nade on the retreat. Doesn't do anything, of course. He didn't retreat. There will be an award today for the underdog of the group phase. So if you're a patron, head to #lounge on the ML Discord. And if you see a really good underdog that plays extremely well, mortar fires a shot in there, that plays extremely well today and plays at their hardest through all 4 games, has to be through all 4 games, they can win $50. We'll have a vote on it after today. That's a mine detonating. Grenadiers forced off. Conscripts are now going to push in for the fuel. Back in the centre. T-70's in imminent danger. 2-2 pushes in to keep sight. Pack 40's lining up a shot. Max range gets it. Hit the literal max range. And Luvnest is going to be reeling after that. Don't forget as well, everybody, without fuel and munitions, this commander isn't as powerful as many others. And that's because it needs 180 for the Sturmovik, 230 for the IS-2 as an 18-8 goes in there, and of course 130 is it for the T-34-85? I think so, something like that. 130 indeed. So Luvnest spends all of his munitions on tripwire flares, mines, etc. But that means he's not going to be able to exploit his commander heavily in the late game. So he did get that comforting blanket in the early game of knowing what Makros was doing, but that's all it's given him. And indeed, he's having to go for a 76 to keep up the initiative. Meanwhile, Makros could be heading to tier 4 here at this rate. Look how much fuel he has. He has so much fuel. I wonder what he could do. He could go for a Panther. He could go for a Brumbear if that Pack 40 gains Vet 2. He's having a really strong game. Destroying the cover. Since Luvnest last played, there's been a patch that allows these sandbags to be destroyed very easily. Their target size was increased dramatically. Combat engineers pushing in from the sides, just on a shift command it seems. Meanwhile, Grenadiers fighting against conscripts, the mortar helping out. Incendiary rounds pop. Rifle nade also. Oh, no it didn't. And the T-34 emerges. Luvnest is fighting for his life. The Allied Seed 2 cannot afford to win Game 1 because this is meant to be against his lowest level opponent of the day. I started the top seeds against their... Ooh, shots on retreat. I started the top seeds against their lowest seed opponent that they'll face. Combat engineers needs to be really careful. He's Vet 3. He really needs to keep him alive. Damaged engine, yes, but could be focus fighting. No, he's changing belts. He's going to be okay. And the T-34 finishes off the 2-2-2. Luvnest with a good escape and a vital kill, taking away the veterancy. But meanwhile, Makros is in the ascendancy. Look at this tap map. Look at the amount of points being taken out of the Germans' hands. Could have a squad wipe incoming as well. Combat engineer's got to run the gauntlet against an LMG Grenadier. Ah, it's going to be a Panzer IV from Makros. That's bad fuel usage. He could be so further up in this game had he used his fuel economy better. He's kind of ceding the... think about it. This T-34 has been on the field now for a minute, or maybe 2 minutes. Yet Makros has 130 fuel more than Luvnest. That should not be the case. If he watches this game back and Luvnest wins, he will be cringing. It will be for that reason he loses, in my opinion. You cannot afford to float fuel. One of the biggest sins ever. It is indeed a great map. People complimenting the map so much, and I agree completely. Master League admin, Rachel, has made a fantastic map here. And you can kind of sense in her map making and her diligence following the map being made that she'd make a great admin for the Master League, and she's proven thus so far. Pack 40 taken out, Grenadier under heavy duress as the Panzer IV pushes in. But I tell you what, the T-34 ate those shots really well there. Or bounced them, rather, off its ample front bosom. I was going to say booty, so I went with bosom. It's kind of creepy. Probably shouldn't say that. Trying to get myself into PG-13 AE mode in time for Relic's undoubted Code 3 tournaments. Rifle nade, I can hear it, can you? Oh, it's on this conscript, and he's now very dead. T-34 idly tries to fire a shot in. Got a damaged engine Panzer IV, but Luvnest could not capitalise. Meanwhile, I'm sure Makros is saving his manpower to get another tank. Let's have a check on that. Does he have any units going back to base? Well, keep an eye on this Grenadier if he reinforces it. Bottom right of your screen, just underneath chat. Yeah, he's reinforcing it. I'm not sure about that. I mean, you can't doubt his success thus far. I mean, it's very mean to pick on his fuel economy. And look at Luvnest, he's literally in his base right now. 7-man conscripts are emerging. He's going for the victory points. He's having to. Down to 306 versus 326, so we're definitely in for a very good game. I'm sure that many of you, like me, are like checking yourselves. If you ever compliment if there's like a strange dynamic, like unfortunately, Company Heroes has a massively male-dominated universe. So I'm sure many of you, when complimenting this map, are thinking to yourselves, am I saying it's a really good map just because I know a girl made it? No, it's just a really, really, really good map. But I know for a fact that we all check ourselves whenever we speak like this, right? I do. I put my hands up and say I do. But then, like, you just look at Canal Park and you're like, no, I'm not saying that because of that. Not that you ever would. Some people are like that, you know. I have to check myself. But then, no, Canal Park is literally just a 9 out of 10. If we see more amazing tournament games... Exactly, simps. That's what I was getting at, right? But if we see more epic tournament games on it, it will be confirmed as, you know, the best map, not an auto match, for my money. Big shout out to... what's the one? Champs-Élysées by Joj from the map making competition. I really think that is excellent as well. And I don't think he's quite been as good of a propaganda minister as Rachel has. So, well, he's not been in the tournament. Vet 3 MG42 taken out there. That's big. As I say, this veterancy, all of it matters. Conscripts putting the hurt in. Panzer IV coming about to help the situation here. And that could have been a wipe had he gone stationary, but it still could be. A lot of damage done. He's stationary now. They're well grouped. Ugh. Overshot and hit the tree instead. Meanwhile, we've got combat engineers going north. So shift commands from Luvnest are really helping him stay viable in this game. Meanwhile, T-34 backs away as the Vet 3 combat engineers still alive. Are going to really show their mettle now by using their blowtorches to get him back into the battle while staying on the field to the advantage of Vet 3. Tell you what, this is a good push in, and shots in unison with a Faust. Panzer IV could finish the job here. Indeed it does. What a tantalising play by Makros. 3-pronged attack on one tank. Oh my, that was beautiful. Pack 40 gets away without a shot of damage as well. Oh, that was fantastic. Drive-by execution, gangland style on the streets of Canal Park. Luvnest has had to build a second Zis gun. So he's definitely feeling the hurt now. He does have a good amount of fuel. With 2 Zis guns, he could afford to go for an IS-2. But he's going to be up against somebody that's clearly showing they will go for the jugular when they need to. Pioneers again taking the cutoff. Panzer IV in a good bill of health, as is this shiny new one. Good camouflage for it as well. Shall we go for a little drive-by? I'm going to check the engagements, make sure we're able to do this. Yeah, it looks cool, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. Oh, God, what's going to happen? Oh, no. Meanwhile, there was, I think, some fighting over here. Not much, though. Kind of know when to choose my moments to take us on a T-Tours. Baby, no it wasn't, unfortunately. And that's why AE does not organise team tournaments. Now you know one of my reasons for my prejudice. It is prejudice based on evidence. There's so many unfortunate team tournament events that never finished. It's just sad, but it's true. I think, if I remember correctly, the original delay was hands had no electricity, which is a very, very... Oh, this is cool, these white fences. Very kind of understandable delay, but then, unfortunately, one of their players, I won't name his name because he's a pretty decent guy, don't want to embarrass him too much, he didn't turn up, so... Oh, what a shot there on the Grenadiers! Conscripts could finish them! Mosin-Nagant's accuracy, where were you when we needed you most? Oh dear, and we do have a vital engagement in the north, and conscripts this time were able to defend the cutoff. Luvnest is just about learning the map now in the 27th minute of combat. 85mm T-34 on the field. Still not penetrating the Panzer IVs. Maybe the Zis does, but that didn't. Double cap on the victory points from Makros, pushing Luvnest a bit further down, but he's done really well to keep up capping. And to be honest, big shout out to the combat engineer. I think it's the one here, this guy. He's been going north so much to cap that victory point, and that's why this game is so equal, despite Makros' advantages. I will just bring it up again. Had Makros used his fuel economy a little bit better, I don't think this situation would be as it is right now. Because you can imagine a Panzer IV on the field would have applied enough pressure to stop that combat engineer going north, and that is the chaos factor. What is it called? The butterfly effect of Company of Heroes 2. People laughed when they said I couldn't be a coach. Look at me now! Joking. But to be honest, as an observer, you do notice these things in the elite level of play. It is kind of obvious at times. But it's something I learned from Deathem, actually, on his YouTube videos. He basically says if you float even more than 20 fuel, if you float any fuel, that's just not on. You just don't ever want to do that. It kind of sounds obvious, but it's like a mantra he lives by, and I think Von Ivan lives by as well. I think Luvnest is very good. All the best players never float any fuel. You've basically dropped the balls and you're trying to juggle. You know, the crowd will cringe and they won't invite you back to the party. Oh, we've got a Panzer IV in the farm here. That's pretty beautiful. With a dead horse. Anybody want to make that screensaver? Oh, let's get rid of chat. Chat, you're ruining this. You're ruining this moment. There we go. Screensaver. Lovely. What's happening in the south? Ooh, we got an light artillery barrage now on the Zis gun position. Doesn't beat a Panzerwerfer because you can kind of move from it a little quicker. That's why it might be worth just going Panzerwerfer and Telemines. The Luvnest does use tap maps, so maybe he would miss the smoke on occasion. Not in this case. Oh, he's pushing in again with the Panzer IV, but this time not as successful. He eats 2 Zisgun rounds, and the T-34-85 gets him as well. He's got a backup Panzer IV and a Pak-40. It could be an Admiral Akbar-style trap. But it's not going to be. He's going to blitzkrieg out of there. Conscripts are trying to help out, but they're being suppressed. What a well-defended attack by Makros. T-34-85 pushes back in. Pak-40 can't quite get the shot off there. He's going to push up a little bit as the conscripts push in as well, but the MG42 still defends. Luvnest probably should have remembered its position. We've got a rifle nade on the blob. Oh, it's being retreated well in time, but look at this again by Makros. Exploiting the cut-off. A beautiful play. So in this situation, Luvnest could possibly have pushed south of there, I guess. Very difficult when you're not completely familiar with the map, like Luvnest won't be. Didn't play for much of 2021 when this map was first introduced. So that's why he wouldn't have known the angles there enough. It's one of those things, unfortunately. You do need to know your map in Company Heroes. Best of 1 AFCs, that's right. They're playing 4 games today in a group phase. Exclamation mark brackets to go and figure out how it works. Big thanks to the referees for updating the brackets as well. Well played, well played. Interesting. A lot of people say you must go for tier 4. But in this case, when your fuel's up, I can't blame the decision. To be honest, you could go for 4 Panzer IVs in this game. That would be insanity. He needs to sacrifice a Gren and he'll have the 4 horsemen of the Panzerpocalypse. Faust. Yes. Luvnest fuel's getting up there as well. The Panzer's pushing in. He's got multiple coming in from several angles. He's going for the stricken T-34. He's going around the side of the Zisguns. This is awesome stuff to behold. Will he lose 1 Panzer in the fighting? No! He won't. Zisgun's turn about face. We do have a damaged engine on this one as well. One will target this one, yes, and then he's going to go for the other. Needs a merge imminently. He's going to go for a flank, possibly with the infantry. Can he get it? Zis pops again. Here's the conscripts finally in the fighting. He's going to pick the Zis back up. Do we have Grens coming into action? No. We've got conscripts from multiple angles. This could be 2 dead Panzer IVs for the price of an 85 at this rate. This could go into Luvnest's favour. Double Zisguns. All those years defending assaults from Von Ivan have come back to help him here. Makros is going to keep up the aggression, however. Wants to neutralise this Zisgun. He's got Jaegers pushing in from the flanks. But a great shot from the Zis from afar. Meanwhile, MG42 pushes back into the fighting. T-34's on its way. And he could steal the Zisgun here. What a nice series of engagements this has been. Feels like watching esports caliber coming here just by how exciting it is. Just for the fan entertainment value of it all. Right, do we have a possible rifle nade threatening? No, he's going to push away. He's going to reclaim the Zisgun. So we have well and truly just lost 2 Panzer IVs for 185mm. Grens in a bit of stress here. They're forced away. So are the Jaegers now. He's lost a lot of manpower. Zis has been decrewed yet again, but he won't mind that. He's got a lot of health on the weapon. And there's the new 85mm. Guys, I'm going to say it. That was a big strategic win for Luvnest. If he escapes with both Zisguns, which he is doing, it really is. It's just gone in his favour. Look, well, the fuel's still in Makros' favour, I suppose, but... Oh, now it's truly in Luvnest's favour. That Grenadier dies. Yes, we got a lot of fuel for Makros, but he's stuck in tier 3, and this is one of the biggest ever arguments why you go Panther after your first Panzer IV. A lot of top-level players commonly argue that the true best build order for Wehrmacht is, if you're in front, by the way, it's Panzer IV, Tech to tier 4, Panther. After seeing all those Panzer IVs get well routed by Luvnest's expert-level defense, he's an expert defender of rushes. He sometimes has handled Von Ivan with one hand tied behind his back, while smoking a cigarette and eating a carrot. Amazing, I know. All that training... Ah, sorry. Plug Doctor's right. It is actually Stug. My bad. More Panzer IVs emerging. As Luvnest is on 80 fuel and no manpower, but he's still in the fight. 227 victory points versus 284. Any coffee left for AE? Yes, there is. Let's have some. That's good. If you're a fan of the stream, feel free to subscribe. If you're a fan of this tournament action, feel free to become a Master League patron. Every penny goes to tournament action. We're a little bit down on patrons recently because 2 former generals have retracted their $50 pledges, which is their right, and they're now $10 backers. So $80 down. So please fill their ranks up. My idea is we have more numbers, and we only have $10 benefactors, so hopefully we can have a strong 2022. KD, good point, James Jam. So let's just let this passage of play, I haven't actually shown the stats yet. Let's let this passage of play die down. Oh, mind you, it's on times half speed anyway, isn't it? So 152.31 for Luvnest. That's really strong KD for a conscript build, in my opinion, or it's about right. Army value, Makros is now around about the same as Luvnest, but the Panzer IV just got built. Points held should show Makros has had significant passages of play where he's been on top. And that should do us, to be honest. That'll do us. They're the 3 vital stats. Army value, KD, points held. How did the T-34 miss that? What is that camera angle? What is this? What is it? Oh! It's the lamp from one of these street lights. Somehow it ended up here. Cool, okay. Must have got blown off. Conscript with the mortar smoke. The smoke generator. Vet 3 now. Better barrage accuracy. Oh! The rifle made. It does nothing. More smoke generated by your... What lasers as well, really. We've got the dry ice. We just need the lasers now and some techno beats. That would be in a Luvnest stream. He's pushing on multiple fronts right now. He's got engagements from 2 angles. And the southern flank as well is hotting up. He's pushing in Luvnest as he's trying to reclaim control. He's hit 200 victory points. He does not like it. Fuel-wise, okay, he's getting close to a second T-34-85. I predict he'll go for that, because they are soft counters to the Panzer IV. In fact, they can sometimes be deemed a hard counter. Oh, he suffers a pin there because of his ankle was over the line. Combat Engineer's forced away. Panzer IV watches on. Zis lines up a shot. Vet 3. Got another one pushing in. Luvnest is really starting to control the battlefield. He's doing a good job of it. No spam, please, chat. Oh, a little bit of damage there. No damaged engine. And this will finish anything off. He could actually do this here. He's got the flare so he can see it. Double Zis lines up. And the T-34's in action. How'd you like that medicine, Makros? Gets him from max range. Does suffer a damaged engine himself, though. But he's got Zis barrages should he need them. He's going to back away slowly. He'll be fine. He's got conscripts and combat engineers pushing in. And look at Luvnest fuel. Is he thinking IS-2 at this stage? Oh, good shot there as well. He's getting close to Vet 2 as this T-34-85. Grenadiers from the south side. This is pushing to the north. They smell blood up there. Grenadiers under duress. Where's this MG42? It's not quite in the field of view. Oh, he's packing up so the conscripts push in. Well spotted by Luvnest. He's truly warming up now, but he's going to be really tired if this carries on. He's going to have such a tough day. He's going to hate me. He's going to blame me, I'm sure. It's only 4 games, though, so a best of 5 can be 5 games. So it's 1 series, really. But not when your first game is this difficult. How many Panzer IVs do you want to build in a game? Makros levels. Yeah, Empire's Corrupt. I think it's Panzer IV is one of those things that if you are on top and you're winning and you're not up against Luvnest, they can be fine. They're great in auto match to spam them out. But against this kind of defensive master, they're not so great. You'll pick them off. These kind of caliber players really know the Panzer IV's hit points really well. They know how to arrange an assassination of one. And also, as you saw earlier, Luvnest is great at being calm under pressure. He's been in the most pressurized battle situations you'll ever see. You know, as I mentioned earlier, he's his biggest foes in this series, for my money. Damaged engine, double Zis lines up, and this is what I'm talking about. He's got them both lined up. Panzer IV assassinated yet again by this amalgamation. This 8-man Panzer IV wrecking crew. And it just doesn't cut the mustard against this caliber of player. And Makros throws in the towel. 40 minutes in. And he played better than Luvnest. His micro was better, but his build order and strategy was worse. He didn't use his fuel, and it's so sad to see. And I'm just going to call it out. I'm going to do some post. I rarely do this, but I feel the need to point this out at this point in time. I don't know which of this graph is fuel, but look at this 18-minute mark graph. Let's say its fuel is this one. Okay, let's say it's fuel, and then, I don't know, that's every Panzer IV built, right? So he built 5. Did he build 5? I want to say 5. Where are we at here? 5, yeah, he built 5. So those graphs there, that's his Panzer IVs. Luvnest's first T-34 is here. So the difference, or is it here? No, that'll be the T-70. So it's here, right? Something like that. So we've got a full-on 3-minute gap. However, Makros had 260 to 200 fuel in this area here. That is time he lost. He was winning up to that point. Look at the points held. Up to 18 minutes. It doesn't get clearer than that. Look at that. That's the 18-minute mark there. 18 minutes. Boom. Resource floats. That's the bit where he didn't get his Panzer IV out early enough. It's literally that simple. He was winning. He didn't manage his fuel economy well enough. And then Luvnest can deal with Panzer IVs. He can deal with them very well. Look at this. Panzer IV down. 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 You know, he can deal with them. But if you get it out earlier, he could have then, you know, it wouldn't have been the same situation, basically. It would have been very different. So GG well played to Makros. Learning experience for him. You can't apply what you do in auto match. What would work against Luvnest in auto match will not work versus Luvnest in tournaments. And I'm going to swear here. I know that's not very relic friendly, and we all know that I'm trying to be more PG, so I can hopefully get relic gigs for Co3. There are levels to this shit. That is a common expression to boxing, tennis, Company Heroes. And what people don't realise about like Luvnest in auto match, or DevM in auto match, or Nagano in auto match, any of these players, Asher Blah is a good one. They're playing around here. And yeah, you can go toe-to-toe with them. You can beat them in auto match. But tournament, there is this much. And if you F your build order up, if you go for something kind of spammy, like a Panzer IVs continuously, and it's not optimal, it's not what you see in the World Championships or the Master League 5 tournaments, these big elite tournaments, you can't just translate your auto match style of play. You have to study people, and you have to elevate your game. If this is the auto match level, my thumb there, and you can play there, you've got to get up to here, because that is the difference between Luvnest auto match, Luvnest tournaments. You will not beat him unless you study him, and you don't study his auto match replays. You go back and you study ML5. You go back, you study World Championship 2020, World Championship 2019, GCS2, and you get a feel for these big bad boy build order decisions. For Wehrmacht, I've already talked about. For Soviets, it's your tier 4 build order decision. You cannot ever afford to make the wrong decision. There's 3 things. The T-34, the Su-85, the Katusha. The study of which one to build when and how to use it is literally make or break for winning tournaments. You literally have to nail it. You can never, ever afford to get a Katusha at the wrong time, an SU-85 at the wrong time, a T-34 at the wrong time. That's another tip for auto match players if they want to be tournament competitive. Sorry, let me just fix my overlay in time for the next one, because pretty sure it's a pretty cool way to end it, isn't it? Sorry, I like ranting. It's fun, isn't it, to have a good, jolly old, good old rant. Oh boy, what do you think? Okay, I'm messing this up horrendously. There we go. So, overlay, widescreen. That should be ready for the next assault now. Yeah, looks good to me. Best of one. All right then, guys. So, let's go over to the screen of me. I've had my passionate rant about build orders in tournaments and how important they are. Gonna go check out some messages. Wowee. Oh, okay. Group A allies, Group B Axis VPs. Okay. Group A allies. Doesn't work. Okay, I'll fix that now. Probably something to do. Oh, yeah. Okay, got it. Did they all win 666 victory points? I doubt that very much. Sorry, I'm fixing it now. Just needed to copy the formula. That's all it was. Sure. Okay. And which was the other one? Did you say Group A allies? Group B Axis doesn't work. Oh, I see. Yep. Got it. Fixing it now. Thank you, Stern Panther. I didn't know that these weren't working. Well, we'll fix now. So that's... God. How does this work? I'll show you on screen, guys, so you can see what I'm doing. Just fixing these formulas. I really thought I'd fixed them already, but apparently not. So it's instead of D, it's M. Instead of G, it's P. Ooh. That should be working now. Okay, the win column. That should be fine, I guess. Yep. It was just the victory points that were knackered, wasn't it? I checked all the wins, but I did not check the victory points. That's where I went wrong here. Just going to check them all now. Make sure it's all working. Nice spot, Stern Panther. Good work, mate. Yeah, we're sorted. So we have some results that have come in. DevM won versus Markov. Inca Una won versus 3F Rig. Ferrigy. That's it, Ferrigy. In fact, we've had all our game one results in. This is fantastic. Sorry, I was too busy focusing on formulas. Asherblaw had only 38 victory points left versus Twisted Tootsie. Oh my. Luvnest is now in an all-German battle against Theodosios in 10 minutes' time. I'm sure they're having a break. Jibber needs to move his cursor. Come on, Jibber, get to the ref cell, son. Might boot Jibber, because he's probably playing. But yeah, cool. Cool whip. Let's go and check out who else is casting today, just to advertise their streams. We've got 101st Airborne, Angry Dutchman. Oh yeah, the wild card. Let's check that out. So they're on, should be on winter maps. Angry Dutchman versus Wolf. Angry Dutchman versus Xander. This will be nice because he deserves... Oh, they don't have scores. I'm sure they can colour it gold. It's just 2 best of ones, so... How is DevM doing today? Is he doing alright? Well, he won with the highest... No, the second highest victory point count after Nagano. DevM's going to be up against Ferrigy after. And I, of course, am going to maintain my following of Luvnest all the way through today's events, because we've got Luvnest Von Ivan and Luvnest Asherblaw later on. Cool stuff. And I should probably have a little mind break now, but I don't... Well, let's see if the next game's on is ready yet. Watch Kowzak play if you want. the ones with viewers. We've got Nagon. Oh my god, that's sad. All these tournament games, there's only one observer. It's kind of sad, isn't it? Oh dear. But I can confirm I don't think the second game started yet, so they're having a well-earned break. So I'll be right back in a little bit. Thank you.